Well, okay. We come on. Let's see if we have. Is this boom, 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 boom. Audio, audio, audio. Check. How do I change this audio? How do I change this audio? Hello? Boom, boom, boom. No, no, no. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Hear me, yes or no? Can you hear me? Please chat. Tell me if you can hear me. Edit. How do I? Can you guys hear me? All right, this is already turning out to be terrible. Xavier, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Or do I gotta start this over again? Oh my God, no one's telling me if you guys can hear me. You guys are the fucking worst. Can you hear me, Xavier? Can't. Uh, can you hear me? No. Oh, you can hear me. I've been asking all you guys. Okay, motherfucker. Okay, then I really should restart this stream over again. But YOLO, we got 7 people in the chat. Okay, great guys. So do you guys like the live streams? Right now, we're going to talk about really quick the Mi Mix 4 that just came out. Now, first, I want to talk about the non-shitty aspects of the Mi Mix 4. We're going to talk about some of the good aspects of the Mi Mix 4 first. Then we're going to get to like the shitty part of the Mi Mix 4. Then we're going to answer questions, talk about some of the new Redmi devices that were announced. But really quick, on the surface, the positive aspects of the Mi Mix 4. The first phone to have the Snapdragon 888. Now, I don't know, and none of us really know, if the Snapdragon 888 is going to end up being like Sig. Why is this so weird? If the Snapdragon 888, okay, here we go. Oh, now I can see it. No sound. You guys say that you can hear me. So, a lot of you guys, if you haven't heard yet, the Mi Mix 4, it is going to be launching with the Snapdragon 888. Is the first. What's up, guys? Hello, Zeko. Hello, Mohammed, Stelios, Mr. Magoo, Mr. Gagu. So real quick, first device with the Snapdragon 888. We don't know if the Snapdragon 888 is going to be any better in regards to thermals compared to, or the 888 Plus, if the 888 Plus is going to be better in thermals compared to the regular 888. In the past, when Xiaomi gives us something like the Snapdragon 865 Plus, that's generally just an overclocked version of it. And so when you are running at higher clock speeds without having a significant difference in architecture, in like voltage, right, in total TDP or the wattage, it just means that the device heats up faster, which isn't really a good thing. So what, like, it's the same argument that I give you guys when you talk about should I get a device with a Snapdragon 870 or an 865 if you're in a hot climate like India, Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, right? You're just going to end up cooking your device and getting up to that thermal limitation faster. So if they haven't done anything in regards to like undervolting of the Snapdragon 888 Plus, then you're just going to have a device that gets hot and then thermals faster. So not necessarily a big jump up in performance. The next thing is that it's going to end up having a curved display. obviously it's going to have like their curved waterfall display on all sides, uh, because it's a Mi Mix device, right? And it's a 6.67 inch, 120 hertz 1080p curved OLED panel. Now, we do know that the OLED panel on the Mi Mix is not going to be a top tier Samsung panel. So no E3 display, no E4 display, no LTPO display. In fact, according to uh, according to some of the reports, all of the displays that have been tested for the under display camera tech, and we'll talk about that in a second. They're all Chinese manufactured. So we don't know about max brightness, we don't know about contrast ratios, we don't know about HDR10, and that's eh. The next one, 4,500 milliamp hour battery with fast wired charging up to 120 watts. Now, we saw the 120-watt charging for the Xiaomi devices in the past. We've already seen that tech, guys. That was in the Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra. And honestly, it's not that impressive. We see, I'm going to get to the under display camera in a second. I'm running down all the specs. Stay with me, Ivan. Now, it could be that Xiaomi has just divided the battery cell up into 3 separate parts, and they're able to then give each of those cells like the 37 watts necessary to hit that 120 watt goal. And so that would make it revolutionary in the fact that it would be the one of the first triple cell battery designs, but Xiaomi hasn't disclosed yet about how they're going to hit that 120 watt number. What we do know is that Oppo, BBK, OnePlus, Vivo, and Realme have their patent on splitting the amperage up at the charging brick. And that has a couple of advantages because when you buy an Oppo or BBK device, the power is being carried by 2 separate wires, right? And it converts the amperage or the voltage into amperage, the amperage into voltage. So whatever it is, so that it takes that heat and it generates the heat on the brick, which is why you can't just use any of the cables like I have here. You have to use a special BBK specific cable with those devices. And that kind of sucks. What Xiaomi did in their wisdom-ish and what Qualcomm did is they have given the 865 and 888 the ability to split the current at the device. So it's still creating the heat. It's still getting hot. It's still having to split the high, it's still having to turn the high amperage into high voltage to go into the battery cells, but it's doing that on the device. And so the idea is that you can use any of these cables that you have here, right? Because all of these cables are just kind of generic USB Type-C to USB Type-C cables. You don't need a special engineered cable. What's up, Jujun? And so because of that, it makes it like a universal charging standard. So you don't need specific cables. But it cooks your device. Like it creates a ton of heat on device. And that ultimately leads to shorter battery lifespan. And that's why BBK devices don't necessarily sacrifice battery longevity for charging speed, while that's something that all Xiaomi devices do. I have tried to fast charge my phone at 18 watts outside while live streaming on TikTok with like 32-degree ambient temps, and my phone throttles. My Redmi Note 10 Pro is absolutely unusable outside if it's 32 degrees. I'm live streaming on TikTok and I'm trying to charge the device. Even if I'm trying to trickle charge the device at 5 watts, I get an overheating message. All of the live streaming ends up looking like this because it is skipping frames and it sucks. And I fucking hate it. So how Xiaomi has achieved this 120 watts, we don't know yet. We're going to need to see a teardown before we can understand whether or not this is some new, different, interesting tech or whatnot. But whoop-de-fucking do, to be honest with you guys. The next one, and this is kind of where we're going to end up starting to talk about the bad aspects of it. The camera that we have in the Xiaomi Mi Mix 4, it's a 2.5-year-old camera. We had that exact same camera, f1.9 Samsung HMX sensor with optical image stabilization. We have that in the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 and Xiaomi Mi Note 10 Pro. We had it in the Xiaomi Mi 10. We had it in the Xiaomi Mi 11, and we had it in the Mi 10T Pro. And now we have it again in the Mi Mix. I would love to say that, by the way, we got 10 people in here, but we have 5 thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up. I would love to say that it's going to be more optimized, but to be honest, a big part of the optimization of a camera has to do with lenses, right? Like this lens is a fucking expensive lens, right? But this lens lets in a ton of light, so I don't need to have a super nice camera. Xiaomi could have reused that same sensor, given us a 1.6 aperture lens or f1.5 aperture lens, and made the lens physically bigger, but they didn't. They recycled a lens camera module with the same exact specs that we had two and a half years ago almost on the Mi Note 10 Pro. Fine camera, but I don't know how much optimizing that you can do. Okay, the next one is the under display cameras, and we're going to give you guys a demonstration. This is a variable neutral density filter. How do I look now? Okay, so we'll make it a little bit brighter. How do I look now? I still don't look that great, right? Let's make this as light as possible, right? How do I look now? I still look mediocre. And so essentially, this is what you can expect from a under display camera. They're going to have a different arrangement of pixels on the screen so that there is more space in between the pixels so that the under display camera can shoot through it. But even as you guys can see here, right? Look, if you guys have never seen this before, right? That gets completely dark. And then, I'm using I'll answer questions in a second. So this is a neutral density filter, and this is going to work very similarly in regards to like the performance that you would see from an under display camera. And so even at the lightest setting with a neutral density filter, you're always going to have some type of tint. You're always going to have some type of obstruction through that, right? We don't use these for video at night because we want as much light to go through the camera and into the lens as possible. What this means, and also it changes the color of the video because of science. And normally it changes the color not for good. Some of these, this is like a regular neutral density filter, not a variable one. These are supposed to change the way it looks a little bit less, right? Some of these are cheaper, some of these are more expensive. The more expensive ones are supposed to be better. But even the most expensive neutral density filter is always going to sacrifice lens performance. You can get a non-neutral density filter, just a regular neutral density filter that has one tint, and it makes the performance difference better, but it doesn't make it the same as not having one on there. And so for a cell phone where you are limited in space, especially on the front, right? Because if we wanted to make the front camera bigger, then it would take more space underneath the display, which is right where the speaker is. And it would just be sacrificing the design, it'd be sacrificing the usability for this, which is not good. By the way, do these mics sound good? These are the Pamu Quiet Mini. I think that the mic sounds pretty good on them. This is my first time using them for streaming. And so the fact that Xiaomi is sacrificing front camera performance to be the first to have an under display camera is a very Xiaomi thing. It's a very, very Xiaomi thing. And like, actually, I want you guys to all comment here. We got 10 people and I want to know what your thoughts are. But to me, I would still like to have the little water drop notch and big front firing speakers, like stereo speakers. For me, I like to have great speakers on my phone. I don't really care if I have the little water thingy here, especially if it can include uh, great speakers and like it can be a full edge to edge display. If I know a lot of you guys, a lot of the gamers out there, you guys want the full screen display. And for you guys, the K20 Pro was like the match made in heaven. It was the best device that ever was. I understand. But for 90% of people, like having a decent front facing camera is going to be a kind of a bigger priority than having no obstruction of the front. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's read some of the comments for you guys. So if you guys have questions, comments, you want me to answer stuff, drop them right now in the chat or hit me up on the Discord. Yes, we can hear you. No sound, no sound, no sound. Okay, curved display is disgusting. I kind of agree. I kind of agree. The curved display is meh. Snapdragon 888 will be optimized on foldable because the heat. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if that's trolling or not. Ivan, why does under display camera suck? Ivan, hopefully I answered your question to how and why they suck or why they're just not great or it's really difficult to make them not suck. Answering more questions for you guys. Stereo speakers, yes, I agree. Yeah, stereo speakers. I would like display of the Sony phones with no notch, just a bar for the chin and forehead. I think that the whole no border around the edges, I think that's a fad in many ways, right? Especially because we're asking more from our phones. Like for a lot of people, you maybe don't want to go out and buy something like this. Like maybe you don't want to buy or carry around something like a little uh, a Xiaomi outdoor speaker, right? And like you just want to use your phone as like your main outdoor speaker. And so like for you guys, yeah, the speaker is important. Okay. I had someone that wanted me to talk. This was in our chat. I had someone that wanted me to talk about the new Redmi 10 renders and specifications. Redmi 10, I don't know if this device is going to be India only, but we've got 6.5-inch full HD punch hole display. Punch hole is cool. 90 hertz refresh rate, also cool. I think that 90 hertz for the refresh rate is kind of the sweet spot. If you guys like 90 hertz versus 120 hertz, let me know. But I think 90 hertz gives you that smoother feeling without being a massive hit on battery life. Lately, I've been running my Redmi Note 10 Pro at 120 hertz, and I hate it because you see every stutter. We have a 50 megapixel Samsung S5 camera. I don't know what these new Samsung sensors are. The 50 megapixel Samsung sensor, I have no idea what the fuck is that? I have no idea what the sensor performance is. I have no idea what the size of the sensor performance is, but I really think that the size of the lens is a bigger deal. But it is interesting to note that the new Pixels are going to be coming with a 50 megapixel camera, and we know that Google is working with Samsung. So could we see the Redmi 10 have the same camera as the Google Pixel or the same sensor? Okay, hold on. Let's finish up on the Redmi 10. 8 megapixel selfie camera. Yeah. Bluetooth 5.0. I would like to see Bluetooth 5.2. 5,000 milliamp hour battery. RAM. 4 gigabytes of RAM. Not enough. I mean, the Redmi 10, I feel like that's going to be the phone that like every aunt that goes into a store that's like looking for a phone and doesn't know very much about tech, I feel like she's just going to end up getting sold that phone because of the massive battery. It doesn't matter. You'll get used to it at some point. I'm the light. Oh, what's up, Light Legend? It doesn't matter if it's the iPhone notch or the MX4. You'll get used to it. Oh, UCP. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good evening from the Philippines. What's up, Darren? I told yes. So, the difference is barely noticeable to me. Yeah, I mean, at this point, the me at this point, the thing with like the 90 hertz, 120 hertz, it's getting to the point where no, there's definitely Bluetooth 5.2 devices, I think. I'm not sure which ones they are, but I know that there's Bluetooth 5.2 devices because we have Bluetooth 5.2 headphones because these headphones are Bluetooth 5.2 and my Halo W1 are Bluetooth 5.2. And both of those headphones are awesome. The Halo W1, if you guys didn't catch my review on it, I think that right at under $40, they make a great pair of headphones and they offer the identical physical design to these. And these are my personal favorite headphones. Okay, let's take some more questions from you guys. Okay, well, you guys put some questions in there. I want to talk a little bit about some of my disappointment with the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And this is a different kind of disappointment that I've had with the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Because the Redmi, for 90% of my use case, up until this point, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has been great. I have had, and this has not been like an update thing. This has been like purely a usage thing that I've been running into these issues with the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And that's that the Redmi Note 10 Pro is not consistent in the issues that I get when editing video and when posting videos on TikTok and using it for TikTok. And I know that it's probably a RAM issue as well as a just like MIUI issue. And it's been a big enough of an issue that I've been considering switching it to .os, probably not Pixel Experience because I kind of like .os. It's what I run on my tablet. And .os, by the way, for you guys, this tablet is running a Snapdragon 660. This thing is fucking so fast. It's running a Snapdragon 660 and it's on .os. And look, well, see now it's gonna be slow and stutter. Let's open up Telegram. Let's open up Gmail. I mean, this device is almost 4 years old. Like, you have no reason to be this fast for a device that's this old. And honestly, it all comes down to the fact that it's on .os, and .os is really, really light. Like, and it just .os flies. I mean, you guys see this. Like, this is .os. Maybe I should do a speed comparison with MIUI and .os. And I'll do the newer device that's on MIUI 12.5, and I'll do .os on this like ancient 4-year-old device, and we can see which one's faster. If you guys think I should do that, go ahead and comment that I should do that video in the chat, or smash the like button so I can get an idea if you guys would be interested in that. Because it's one of those things that I'm probably not going to flash another or different custom ROM. Spotify is a bit janky on Redmi Note 10 Pro. Philippines, they've been cold ones that have kept it. The GSI is officially for .os. .os, I think, is .os is an unofficial port for the .os on this is an unofficial port. .os on the Redmi Note 10 Pro might be an official port. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm probably not. I'm gonna try and get babe this week. We need to message the guy about getting one of those S20 FEs this week. I should be getting the S20 FE because I just got word in that I'm gonna have another job teaching online, so I can have some cash flow in. Because right now I've only been able to earn money from YouTube. So I'm not going to flash and I'm not going to flash another stock Android ROM on my device that's a daily driver, just because I need my daily device. Like once it's set up, I need it to work. I need it to be like consistent. Yeah, I'm going to be getting the American S20 FE. It's going to be the American version of the S20 FE. So I think that's 5G. I think the 4G version is the Exynos version. The other thing about the S20 FE is that if you get the S20 FE 4G, then that's going to have a Samsung main sensor for the camera. And that Samsung main sensor performs worse than a 12 megapixel Sony sensor for the S20 FE. And as you guys know, a big reason that I'm getting the S20 FE is that I'm trying to move towards Western country centric devices, because now I'm going to have my product on Amazon. Do you guys want to see the product? Should I show you guys the product that I've been working on for my small business? Because like we have them already. Babe, let me get your laptop really quick. Hold on. This is the first time I've shown this product on stream, but we're sending it to Amazon this week. And I'm not asking you guys to buy this right now. I know why you guys can't even buy this right now. Okay, so this is the unbranded prototype version of the product. Okay, there's a ton of people. You've got a hard drive, right? A lot of guys, a lot of people. You're getting a new laptop. It's got an SSD, and that means that the cost for you to get a bigger SSD internally is really, really high, right? And so more and more people now are using external hard drives. So the easiest way to break an external hard drive with a laptop is you forget that's attached. So here, right? Upside down, this is a 2.5-inch external hard drive, and this is a sleeve for it, holds it in place, so you can just take your laptop up, you can move with it. You don't have to worry about necessarily dropping the external hard drive, disconnecting it, because I broke an external hard drive a couple of years ago because I picked my laptop up in a cafe, something spilled, and two years of photos went down the drain. And so it protects it, right? You can put headphones in it when it's not in use. We're going to make a smaller version of this for like an SSD. And the reality is that for a lot of people, an external hard drive, maybe it's $50, $75 for like a 1 terabyte SSD, right? But the pictures, the video, the stuff that you have on there is priceless. Not everyone backs their stuff up like me. Internet backup now is cheap. I pay $50 a year. I back all my stuff up online for free, or for $50 a year, I should say, right? A lot of people don't. And we're going to be selling these, I think, MSRP. I'm going to be doing a drop shipping store and selling them directly from my website for the international YouTube family that wants to buy this right now, or anyone that has to use something like this or has to carry stuff with their laptop. But I think before shipping on Amazon, it's going to be like $12.95, and I'm going to do an early bird like YouTube special where we sell them for like $9 or whatever I need. I don't care about making profit on it. I just want to give you guys a way to like support the brand. And so that's the product. And we're going to do a smaller version for the SSDs. Yes, this is the Pamu Quiet. You guys know I love this is the Pamu Quiet Mini. I got the Pamu Quiet. Look, right here, I got all the headphones. We got all the headphones. But the Pamu are honestly, the Pamu are my favorite. Their consistency is the best. But we're going to be doing a smaller version of that pouch for people that do. I don't know. Because like for the VAT and for taxes, this is going to be at such a low price point. We might do home tour. My home is a 1-bedroom apartment, or is a studio apartment right now in Vietnam. If you guys want me to do a home tour, I can do a home tour at another point. but whatever it is for price, like for pricing, maybe I'll do it so that people buy it in cryptocurrency. I don't know. Like I don't know if it's done through Shopify. Shopify should make the international shipping for this stuff easy. But right now we're starting off with the 2.5-inch SSD pouch, the smaller SSD pouch, and that's what we're going to do, because that's a product that is more than just for hard drives, right? If you're someone that needs to use wired headphones for gaming or something like that, you can put the wired headphones in there. It's less than 2 millimeters thick, so it doesn't add any bulk to your laptop. And then we've done a bunch of tests. You can unstick it, stick it, you can take it off and peel it like 3 or 4 times. Like, babe, how many times have we unstuck? How many times have we stuck and unstuck that pouch? Now, 3? Babe boy, how many times have we unstuck and stuck the pouch? 5. Yeah, so we've taken the pouch on and off 5 times at this point. And it still works. You guys saw it's not peeling off. Just as long as the surface of your laptop is clean, it uses we have the adhesive here. It uses the 3M 300 LSE adhesive, so it doesn't damage the surface of your laptop if it's like plastic. If it's metal, obviously not. Small logo, tech fluent, right? We didn't want to do like a big design on it. Maybe we'll do some more fun designs on them later down the line, but just simple, black, minimalistic, tech fluent, right? If someone sees it, they would know that you're fluent in tech and that you're a tech head. And that's, yeah, maybe a different color as well. Yeah, the color thing will be down the line for sure, for sure, for sure. But we didn't want to do a bunch of colors that would draw attention to it. Most laptops are black, and because of that, this kind of blends in with the black minimalist aesthetic that most laptops currently have, which is kind of why we wanted to do that. And that's why we kept the logo like small off to the side, just a simple black and white logo that we have screen printed on. Um, we tried a couple different versions of it, and that one's that. Other products that we've thought about, maybe you guys can give us some feedback. We've thought about doing cable management stuff for power banks. So same idea as that sticky pouch, right? But it's got 2 holes on each side, and you can put one on here and here, and then you fold your cable up for your power bank. You put it in 2, and that way the cable doesn't go flying around, doesn't get chewed up. You don't screw up your cables, and it's just like a clean. We're just trying to make tech stuff that just makes it easier to organize. My only problem with the Redmi 10, is that my problem with the Redmi 10, in summary, sorry, is that if your price point to get a Redmi 10 is $180, and right now you can get a used Redmi Note 10, the device will be less than a year old. I would tell you to get a used Redmi Note 10 all day over the new Redmi 10. But the big issue with Xiaomi devices pricing availability is that Xiaomi could possibly not have that available depending upon where you are in the world, right? But I would definitely, like, if your budget is $200 and below, $200 and below for a lot of places right now. I know that you can get like a Poco X3 Pro for like, or Poco. Yeah, I know some people can get the Poco X3 Pro for like that. What about if it's lower than? I mean, if it's lower than 180, then I would for sure get a used Redmi Note 10 Pro, because I know that right now the Redmi Note 10 Pro is retailing in places for like 220 bucks, 230 bucks, and you could probably get a 6 month old Redmi Note 10 Pro for sub $200, and I would do that all day, every day would be like a used Redmi Note 10 Pro, because it's gonna end up being like a budget device. Then I would just save up the extra money. I would honestly just save up the extra money um, to get that, or I would get a Poco F1. Actually, a Poco F1. Why not just get a Poco F1? For sure, you can get a Poco F1 for sub for sure, you can get a Poco F1 sub $200, Poco F1 IMX 363. On top of that, you're going to have Gcam, which is going to be the direct port from the Google Pixel 2 because both devices had the same SoC. And on top of that, the Poco F1 is one of the most repairable Xiaomi devices ever. And the development community for that is fantastic. You're going to be able to have Android 12 when it comes out. You're going to have a ton of custom ROMs. You're going to like the thing about the Poco F1 is that the hardware was so similar to the Google Pixel at the time that the Pixel experience ROMs and all the stuff that came over from it worked great. You're going to have micro SD card support. You're going to have the 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Poco F1 all day long. Plastic, fantastic. Replace the battery. Oh my God, notches a bit. Look. Poco F1 will have better performance, slightly worse battery life, no high refresh rate display, but the ROMs are going to be way better. And because it's MediaTek and it's a cheap MediaTek device, you're going to end up getting screwed when it comes to ROMs. MediaTek, I really want the future of MediaTek to be good, but no one's going to develop ROMs for a shitty MediaTek SoC because there's no like the MediaTek SoC on that purely cost cutting. It's purely cost cutting, right? Because for the same price, you would probably be getting like a Snapdragon 400 series processor. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I'm getting Poco F1. I 100%. I'm getting Poco F1 because I can get batteries replaced for it easily. It's going to have a good camera. Like that phone's going to have a better camera and going to be better performance than that device is, which is going to age better. And you're going to have way better ROM support. So it's not even a question. It's literally it's like not even a question. Like the Poco F1, $200. You could probably get a Poco F1 for like in Vietnam. You can get a Poco F1 for like $150. Like for $200 in Vietnam, you get a Poco F1 and you could get these headphones. You could get these headphones even. That's a great deal. That's a great fucking deal, right? You can get a battery replacement for the Poco F1 is something that you could do. Literally, it's 2 screws on the bottom. It's 2 screws that I have my toolkit. This toolkit cost me like $4 here, right? And Mohammed, I'm guessing you're from a country in the Middle East, right? I understand maybe it's not the richest country, socioeconomics, you might not have a ton of money to spend, but that's kind of how Vietnam is, right? Like people in Vietnam we don't have a ton of money here either. Like the average salary in Vietnam is 8 million a month. Like the average salary here is like $350 a month. Yeah. Yeah. So the average salary in Vietnam is like $350 a month. So for that, or I mean, maybe a Poco X3 Pro if you can find that used, but probably not. I would just get Poco X1. Get yourself a toolkit to open up the Poco X1. It's 2 screws on the bottom of the device, right? And then you can pop it open. Batteries, I think, would be like $12. And then you can get cases, screen protectors. It's got the infrared face unlock. Yeah, Poco F1 all day long. Okay, my wife is starting to get pissed off at me. Do we have anything that used iPhone? Used iPhone 8 Plus? That's a $300. I mean, $300. $300 is a hard price point to pick. $300 is. Give me a second. If anyone's got more questions about this or phone advice, drop your questions right now as I get ready to sign off here. $300. What am I going to get? $300. 300. You can't get the Poco F3. And I don't. The problem with the Poco F3 is that you're getting good performance and you're getting a good screen, but you're not. The problem is that the Poco F3 isn't better than the Poco F2. That's the biggest problem with the Poco F3, is that the Poco F3 is a kind of worse Poco F2 with a high refresh rate display. But the Poco F2 used an E3 panel or an E2 panel. Anyone else have questions for the live stream? Maybe I should do some more of these live streams with you guys. Maybe we do something where we do a live stream on the Discord server for you guys, because we can do video there and we can chat, and we can do voice chat on Discord. It's one of the things I love about Discord. More questions. I'm going to be doing more photography content. What's up, Doomer? MiPad 5 versus iPad. No question, iPad. Problem with Android on tablets in general is that Google does not know if it wants the big screen experience to be a Chrome OS experience or an Android experience. And because of that, a ton of the Android apps are just not optimized for big screens, and there's not much in the way of support for big screen optimized devices. So it ends up being a bloated phone, and then you are relying on Xiaomi or whatever company makes those devices to give you good first party ones. Google should just make Chrome OS on a desktop mode for Chrome OS. The test. I don't know about that. Chrome OS for. Honestly, Google should just make. Google, here's a weird one, and I want to know what you guys think. If Google, why is it? And don't tell me that we can do custom launchers, because you're never gonna have the same experience. Why can't we just have a toggle for a desktop mode on Android tablets? Like, why can't we just have the Samsung DeX type experience built in to the stock Android launcher on tablets? Wouldn't that solve that issue? If Google just gave us like the animation on the lower left-hand part of the screen, right? Where like you turn the tablet this way, and then you're like, choom, and then you go into mode in general. It's barely implemented, but it is barely implemented, but like now Google is working with Samsung. So why couldn't Google just implement native functionality in the tablet version of it? Move for you to have that first party integration. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna get going here. Poco F1, if you're on a budget under $200, get that and a pair of Halo W1 headphones. Someone asked me earlier about the Mori Pods. The Mori Pods are just the Halo W1, but without the gel ear tip. And I like the gel ear tip. This week, I'm going to be doing more videos about photography gear, because photography tech and photography gear in general if you can understand more about, yeah, my wife right now is looking. Should have a wife cam. Um, uh, if you guys understand the tech in regards to cameras, then like if I do videos about camera gear, like camera gear that I use for like photo and video stuff, that and you guys want to understand more about smartphone photography than just understanding, like I'm gonna try and make these videos simple, then you guys are gonna understand way more about smartphone camera systems because it's all kind of the same stuff. Um, and so I'm gonna try like I'm most camera tech YouTubers make videos about camera tech for camera people. I'm going to try and make videos about camera tech and photography gear for tech people, if that makes sense. So that people that like tech can understand the tech behind camera stuff that we use because it's not something that's commonly done. And a lot of people now want to do YouTube, and I'm going to be doing a budget. I'm going to be doing a cell phone based YouTube setup. So if anyone wants to be doing YouTube videos from their home with their phone, I'm going to be doing videos about that with like the mic, the stand, the lights that you guys can use, all for like under $80, like a budget one. Ask Frankie about his reaction to the Redmi 10. Frankie's reaction to the Redmi 10 is this. Ready? Frankie, uh, can you, what do you think of the Redmi 10? The what? Oh, that's going to be his reaction. That's, by the way, did you guys see this TikTok that I did this TikTok on my Tech Fluent TikTok? Hold on. I'm going to play it for you guys really, really quick. Because I think you guys would love this TikTok that I did, and it's I don't know how it got 25 views. Yeah. I have $275 and I want a Xiaomi phone. Great. So can you tell me what you're looking for? Yeah, I just want to take photos with my friends at night. I just want to charge you one a day and whatever can replace my current iPhone. If you really like gaming, you can get the Poco X3 Pro. Then maybe you'd want like the Poco X3 GT. But if you're just looking for like a good all-around phone, you probably want to. Sometimes I play Candy Crush. So in that case, you're probably going to want to get the Redmi Note 10 Pro. But there's also the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite. And then if you want 5G, you can get the Mi. Oh, 5G is great. I can FaceTime to my friend. You don't have FaceTime on Xiaomi phones, but you can get the Mi 11 Lite 5G, and then you would want to unlock the bootloader. I need the Poco Note 10, right? You only want the Poco X3 Pro if you like gaming, and if you just want like 5G, then you should probably get the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite 5G. And then you can go ahead and unlock the bootloader, and we have this thing called Pixel Experience. I'm just gonna buy a refurbished iPhone 8. I have $275. Because that's how most people. That's how most, talk about the history. That's how most people feel about Xiaomi phones at this point. By the way, the TechFluent TikTok is literally just TechFluent21 on TikTok. I'm going to be doing a TikTok about that tonight. I know most of you guys, or many of you, are in India and you don't have a VPN, but we can know later. Okay, I'm going to end the stream now. If you guys want me to do more live streams, or if you want me to live stream more, let me know either on Discord or tell me that you guys like the live streams in the community feed. And how many HMX sensors has Xiaomi got? Pete, stop being so savvy. Pete. No, Pete.
Yes, man. Yeah, I can come tomorrow.
I don't know, Pete. How many HMX sensors does Xiaomi have? I don't know. They probably Pete. They've used this. They've been using it now for. And like we all thought that maybe it was more optimized. Then we looked at the lens on, and it's still a f1.9 lens. Really, really, Xiaomi? Like, really, Xiaomi? Like this is your mix. This is the Xiaomi mix. I understand that it's supposed to be like your flagship design device, but 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 I don't know. It's just I was gonna do a drinking game for the Mi Mix, but I ended up realized it like when I was reading the leaks of it, it was like if I do this Xiaomi drinking game for the Mi Mix, I'm gonna need to buy more rice wine, and I don't want to get drunk tonight because it it was literally They do have the good periscope. They do have a great periscope camera. I look. How do I say this about Xiaomi? You know what? You guys are gonna fucking. We might as well kill the bottle of rice wine. Um, look, I can't believe you guys are making me talk about. I can't believe you guys are making me talk about Xiaomi recycling parts now. Um. Okay. Look. Last thing. The last thing I want to talk about. Look, there's nothing wrong with the HMX sensor. There's nothing wrong with the 582 sensor. There's nothing wrong with any of these sensors, okay? And in fact, in like mainstream digital photography, we get a camera updated. We get a camera updating the sensor. Like Sony will update their cameras once every 2 or 3 years, right? And then once every 2 or 3 years, we see maybe a half stop to like a stop performance improvement uh, on the camera sensors, right? So for Xiaomi to come out and use a new sensor every year is completely unreasonable, right? But here's the problem, and this is the biggest problem with Xiaomi recycling parts in general, right? It's not that Xiaomi is actually recycling the camera sensor, because that would be okay, right? Xiaomi recycling camera sensors would be one of these things where it's unreasonable for us as tech fans to think that they're going to have new sensors that are going to be fantastic, right? The best example, I'm not about to take this off. The best example is this camera. This is like my YouTube setup with like my monitor and stuff like that. But this camera, this is the Sony A6500, the A6500. Okay. That camera utilizes a 24 megapixel CMOS sensor, and it is structurally the same sensor that Sony has been using for like 5 or 6 years now. And what they've done is they've added autofocus. They've made it a better autofocusing sensor, and they've added like new phase detection autofocus systems to it, and that has given it better performance. But because we can change lenses on it, I can buy a lens like this, right? And this lens lets in a ton of light. And all of the lenses I have for that camera let in a lot of light. They're not zoom lenses, right? They let in the hole for them versus the type of lens it is. I could use nerdy terms, but the hole is a really big hole. This hole was really slutty in college, and she got around a lot. All my lenses were sluts. And so because of that, uh, I can use the camera in a really dark situation and get amazing results from it. Like amazing results from it. Like I'm gonna end up posting more of my photography on my Facebook fan page for people that want to see my photography, because I worked as a concert photographer for a while, and I've been paid to do photography for 14 years now. But I can take amazing pictures in low light with that 4.5, 5-year-old camera with a 6-year-old sensor, because of the lenses. So when Xiaomi decides to recycle a sensor, not a big deal, right? But when Xiaomi decides to recycle an entire camera system, meaning the sensor is the same, the lens is the same, that tells me that they're just bulk buying that assembly, right? Like the sensor and the lens and the image stabilization part. They're buying that one assembly in mass, right? And so they're not taking that old sensor and then innovating on it more. They're just essentially cutting costs to do that. And so if we saw Xiaomi reusing the same sensors, it wouldn't be that big of a deal if they had new lenses. But that's not what they're doing. They're just recycling the entire camera system. And because of that, in my opinion, it's unacceptable. And that's what makes it bad, because at the end of the day, we as tech enthusiasts can see that they're choosing to recycle these as a cost cutting measure, not because they're able to get great performance out of it. Because to be honest with you guys, this sensor, the HM2 sensor that offers the 9:1 pixel binning, from Samsung on the Redmi Note 10 Pro during good light and during the daytime, it's amazing. Literally, the Redmi Note 10 Pro during the daytime, because of the 9:1 pixel binning, incredible performance. But it's got an f1.9 aperture lens and no OIS. And because of that, in low light, it's crap. And so that is ultimately why I can't forgive Xiaomi for that stuff. And seeing companies like Samsung, OnePlus use the same selfie camera until annoyed. Selfie camera stuff, the selfie camera stuff, I feel a little bit different about, because if you're recycling selfie cameras, there's stuff that you can do with making the front screen light up brighter, and they have given us better. They have given us better screens on the newer OnePlus devices, so that when you use that front flash mode and the front screen lights up, it does in some ways make up for that. I am really, really going to miss. Hey, let's turn on the AC bit. I am going to miss the infrared blaster for the air conditioning, because I use it like 10 times a day. It's amazing. It's one of the best features of like Chinese phones. It literally is incredible. Okay, we're at an hour. This is 30 minutes more than I wanted to. We're gonna call it a day here. Guys, go check out my newest video about this vertical mouse. This thing is a game changer, and they're cheap. In the past, these things were expensive, but for anyone that needs to use the computer for extended periods of time, you can now get these under 25 bucks. They're USB rechargeable, battery life about 3.5 weeks. and it makes your life so much more comfortable. Thank you everyone for chilling tonight. Sorry we were all over the place. Probably not going to make this stream live because it's a fucking mess, let's be honest. But till next time, guys, I appreciate it. Peace.